Good morning. Always nice to greet you on a beautiful day here in the Tennessee Valley. Aren't we lucky that it seems like every day we talk about it being a beautiful one, but today perhaps might be the pick of the crop so far in the last several weeks. Fall definitely in the air. If you are watching us this morning and you or someone you know, however, is struggling a bit with whether it's an eating disorder, a substance abuse concern, mental health in general, pull up a chair and watch and listen to the two women who are kicking off the show with us this morning. Both are with Focus Treatment Centers, Abigail Smith and Nicole Wade Thibodeau. Good to have you both on the show. I think that's a fair thing to say, Nicole, for Abigail, for people to pull up the chair, because to have a chance just to hear you all talk this morning, just to get some information is helpful for so many people, because when you're walking this path, whether it's eating disorder or substance abuse, you don't know where to start.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
100%.
So you and Nicole collaborated, I guess, on your way here this morning and thought, okay, we've talked before about the warning signs and the causes, but the question is, what does recovery look like? And that's what she wanted to focus on this morning. So my first question, does it come quickly?
Great question. So I am kind of the lead of eating disorders. Nicole is our spokesperson and actually program director for substance use. So we're going to kind of be ping-ponging back and forth on these two subjects, which are related and very similar, but also very different.
Okay.
So Nicole's response to this question will most likely be very different than mine, but there will also be similarities.
Okay.
So does recovery come quickly? No. Recovery from an eating disorder usually takes a while, because it's a habit that has been formed to help somebody feel safe, secure, seen, and soothed in the world. So it's a mechanism that ultimately helps them navigate life, their jobs, relationships, and brings overall satisfaction.
So it's interesting to me that you would use the words safe and secure, because Nicole, I'm guessing that's also some of what causes a person to turn to substance abuse. It's a way to feel something they're otherwise not. Is that right?
Correct, yes. A lot of times it is a way to feel like they can connect with someone, because usually are struggling with depression, anxiety, just how to talk with people. And so usually that will be a way to where they can feel like they can talk with other people by using those substances, or as a way to keep up with their day-to-day life, because can't keep up with the balance of everything within their life, so have to use substances to keep up with those standards that they're having to live.
So would you answer the same way that Abigail did, that a recovery from substance abuse does not come quickly?
Correct, it does not come quickly. There are a few people that get it right the first time within treatment, so a lot of times we'll need to come back, and that's okay. So we're always here to support anyone that needs continued care to get them back on track with their recovery. But each time our hope is that we'll learn something new and something different of something that did miss.
Okay, so you mentioned the word, Abigail, habit. An eating disorder, as you said, is a lifetime of habits. So anyone knows that habits do build over time. But does that mean then that to create a new habit, you have to have someone there to hold you accountable, lovingly, but hold you accountable?
Yes, 100%. And I think when you're breaking a habit, accountability is very important, because not only are you stopping a behavior, which, breaking a habit takes about a month, but you're also implementing new behaviors and new patterns that can help an individual, again, to navigate life. So when you're taking away something that's very comfortable and soothing for somebody, they don't feel so great, right? And so that accountability and that family support and the structure of a residential setting can kind of come around and support somebody as their safety mechanism, almost as their protective entity, their figure, is taken away, and they relearn how to walk in life.
So you mentioned the residential side of things. Not everything at Focus is the residential unit, but you do have that there. Y'all are experts in your field, so when someone comes to you as an adult themselves or through their family's encouragement, everybody wants that success. You have to be around people who know how to get it for you, don't you?
Eating disorders, and I'm sure Nicole can speak to this, and substance use disorders, it's kind of specialized. So going to places or professionals that have a lot of information, or as you said, are experts in this field, is very important from recovering from these disorders.
So I want to ask you, Nicole, if you watch TV any now, you'll often see commercials where there will be things about, depression and anxiety and medications that you can take. And there's this one kind of effective one where it has the person who is depressed and the friends and things are saying things like, just go for a walk, just get over it, look on the bright, all the buzzwords. That's the wrong thing to do, right?
Yeah. The biggest part of anyone that can do for support is just listening. That if you are doing more of the talking, aren't really understanding where they're going through that, it's more about that they're sharing what they think. But the more and more that can listen, can understand more about what they're going through and knowing how to better support them, because as someone that's struggling with addiction, that a lot of times they don't really know how to ask for their needs and their wants, but just from someone listening to them can explore, well, how can I meet my needs? How can I ask for help?
Okay, so you make that sound easy, but for anybody watching, right, and you're right now the support system within your family or friend group, they don't have you yet.
Right.
How do you just listen to someone if the things they're telling you, are detrimental to their life? How do you strike that balance?
That is a really, really hard thing to do, how to do that, because so many things are so ingrained, whether you're the family member or someone that's struggling with addiction. There are a lot of supports out there, and that's something that I talk about whenever come into treatment for family members or for the person that is struggling, is that they need their own support, whether it's an individual therapist or 12-step support groups for family members, but there is support out there that can help family members out until their loved one is ready to seek treatment, because that's one thing that family members can't force anyone to do, is they have to want the treatment themselves in order for it to work.
So I know y'all do that at Focus too, on both sides of this, eating disorder and substance abuse, where you're there to help the family too, or whatever the support group is, because I would think for them it's frustrating because they're not the ones walking the path and they just want the fix. Is that right?
Yeah. Addiction affects everybody, not just the loved one, that affects the entire family. So the more and more that the family members can be a part of the recovery process, the whole entire family system can be healthier, to where everyone is focused on their own self-care, because it's like you can't help anyone else out unless you're taking care of yourself. So that's something that we really do focus on, is what are ways that you can take care of yourself to live a healthy, balanced life, so that helps the entire family live more of a healthy, balanced life together.
I have less than a minute, so before I show people how to get in touch with you, just really quickly, because it is a habit, and eating disorder specifically is the result of another mental health problem, if you will. That's not the right word, but it's what I said. The earlier someone begins to see an issue and tries to get help, the better. Is that right?
Yes. Preventative care for eating disorders is so big, and I think it's something we need to work on as a society. We need to make doctors more aware. We need to make schools more aware. We need to make families more aware, because eating disorders quite commonly can be overlooked, and those eating disorders in the early stages being overlooked, or somebody invalidating them, you don't look like you have an eating disorder, can really set somebody up for a long road of recovery.
Just to let you know how big of an issue it is, they were talking, I have 30 seconds, but that their in-house, their residential units are really full with severe cases.
Yes.
So this is not something to be taken lightly. The numbers are staggering. I can't think of them to share, but they're high for how many people struggle. So thank you both for the conversation. 308-2560 is the phone number. You'll find them online at focustreatmentcenters.com. Thank you both.